Uh, Hello everyone, and I hope that all the mains examinations for the essay and the all four papers went well. And the candidates who are expecting to write the mains next year, this discussion will be very helpful for them, because through this they will have a understanding that in what manner the UPSC is asking the questions. Okay, today we are having the discussion for the GS paper 3, the questions that came from the internal security. The paper was on the expected lines. The questions were from the topics that are specially given in the syllabus, like left-wing extremism, terrorism, maritime security, and the question related to the Northeastern insurgency. So let us have the discussion for the 15 marker questions first. Okay. Now, in this question, what are the major challenges to internal security and peace process in the northeastern states? This is actually half of the question that was asked in the previous years, that what are the major challenges to internal security, but this year they have added it specifically for the northeastern states. Then they have also asked the timeline and the peace accords and agreements that had been initiated by the government in the past decade. Right? So first we have to write what are the challenges. If you have completed the classes, I have very specifically mentioned the challenges. That first is insurgency. It is the major challenge. Second, it is the ethnic conflict. And third, it is the organized crimes. So if in this question we need to know these challenges, it is a very clear-cut question that insurgency, that is the demand for a separate sovereign state, which is a challenge in the northeastern region. You can also substantiate it through the examples like the demand for Greater Nagaland, the demand for Kukiland in Manipur. Then ethnic conflicts of Manipur, they had been in news for last almost more than 2 years, since May 2023, and organized crime is a very big problem of the bordering regions, like drug trafficking, like the human trafficking, like the arms smuggling, like the problems of gold smuggling and cattle smuggling. So first part is a direct question. Second part, where they are asking the question related to the initiation of peace products, the peace accord. Now when we used to study the internal security, I have made you understand this topic as the various states of Northeast: Nagaland, Assam, Manipur. We studied other states also, because UPSC may also ask questions of what have happened in the previous year. Tripura. Arunachal Pradesh has not posed any direct internal security challenge. It's just the geography of Arunachal Pradesh that had made it to have the imposition of AFSPA. Now when it comes to these 6 states, with Nagaland, in the year 2015 we have had the Naga Peace Accord. I very specifically told the candidates who are going to the exam that this peace accord may come because it has been a decade. It has been a decade and the terms of this accord are not yet out in public, and that is why NSCN-IM, it was led by NSCN-IM, which had the various other insurgent groups associated with it. And because the details have not come out in public, NSCN has threatened that they will come out of their ceasefire agreement that they concluded in 1997. This is what was in the Naga Peace Accord. In Assam, in last decade, there had been many peace accords, in which first is the Ulfa Peace Pact. The Ulfa Peace Pact of 2023, the first major accord with the Ulfa, though Ulfa independent is not a part of it. The second is Dima Hasao Peace Pact of 2023. This was in December, this was in April. Then there had been a Bodo Peace Accord of 2020. It means one state have seen major developments between the mainstream insurgent group ULFA, between a Dima Hasao peace pact between the Dimasa National Liberation Army and the government of India, and between the National Democratic Front of Bodoland and Bodo Liberation Tiger Force and the government of India. This has been the three pacts. With Manipur, no peace accord, but we have seen the development in the form of reduction in violence. We did not have any very particular peace pact. We have seen the peace agreement between the Kuki Zo communities. We have seen the agreements between the Naga peace accord. That is why there is no involvement of Nagas in the Manipur region, but no specific accord can be seen when it comes to the present problems, right? If you have to write that in the Manipur, the government's crackdown on the production of opium was a major ingredient with respect to the bringing of peace. When it comes to Mizoram, it is having peace since 1986. If Manipur you have to see, you can write in this because it is something very important, that in the year 2020, Manipur received inner line permit. Inner line permit has been provided to Manipur. Then Meghalaya, it is having peace since 2018. Revocation of AFSPA. But still a pact is pending. Tripura recently had a Tripura Peace Pact. 2024. It happened in the year September 2024, where it was between all Tripura Tiger Force and National Liberation Front of Tripura and Government of India plus Government of Tripura. As it is a 15 marker question, so we already had so many accords to write, so we may not have enough time to write the details of it. Like 250 crore money developmental package was provided. Here they had been demanding an inline permit. In Manipur, we have an inquiry committee set up under the leadership of retired Justice Ajay Lamba. We have the ULFA Peace Pact, where they get the developmental package of 1.5 lakh crore. These are the details, and I may be repeating it again, but this question was exactly from what we have discussed in the class. So it is a direct question from the class, right? Then the second 15 marker is from the maritime security. Now the first part of this question is, why is maritime security vital to protect India's trade? This is the first part. It means if the simplest question we can make out of this is the challenges to maritime security. The simplest thing that can be interpreted from this is that what are the challenges to maritime security, and they are asking from the point of view of the economic reasons, right? And then they are asking, discuss the maritime and coastal security challenges. So why it is important and discuss the challenges, we can very easily combine it as one part of the question, and we have to discuss the way forward. Now let us look at the challenges. The first challenge that directly comes to our mind is organized crime. The organized crime is a challenge to our sea trade because the organized criminals are taking a lot of attention of the security forces, because of which there is already a lot of strict surveillance, which sometimes affect the ease of doing business. Because if we are afraid that an anti-national element may enter to our country, we'll definitely need to enhance our surveillance factors. So this is the first challenge. Second challenge is piracy. Piracy is the robbery in the maritime region. So if you are having a ship for which you have a fear of pirates, you need to definitely increase your security, and that will cost the or increase the cost of maritime trade. Piracy is even a very big challenge when they are directly attacking the lanes of communication. If you remember, last year there was a attempt to cut the undersea internet cables in Red Sea by the pirates. Pirates, example, Houthi rebels, they were also acting like the pirates. The third challenge is the illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing. This is a challenge to the sea trade, because if these activities are happening, the better fisheries trade will definitely be impacted, because already there will be a loss of the resources. The fourth challenge is in the form of dark shipping. When we have the boats and the ships that are coming without having their identity revealed, it will be a challenge, because we may not know for what purpose they are coming or why they are leaving the region. Dark shipping means a boat, ship or a vessel is entering without having the identity of the country in which it is registered, and it is not visible on the radar system. So that is dark shipping. Now these are some of the challenges. In addition to this, we may also have other challenges, like if you are only focusing upon trade, this will be the challenges. We can also have the challenges like cross-border terrorism. And in organized crime, you can also elaborate the challenges of arms smuggling, weapon smuggling, or even sometimes we see the challenges of armed guards on commercial ships. This is also a challenge, because of which a ship, Enrica Lexi, the guards on that ship shot some fishermen from Kerala, which increases the challenges for maritime trade. So this is for the challenges. Now, what is the way forward? So when we look at the way forward, that way forward begins after the unfortunate Mumbai attack, where the terrorists came from the sea route. So since then we have a coastal security scheme. We have a coastal security scheme of 2009. We have established a national committee on maritime and coastal security. We have created a post of National Maritime Security Coordinator. These are the institutional measures that we have been taking. We have established the systems for information. The information is coming in the form of having a satellite called as Sindhu Netra satellite. We have Sagar Suraksha Dal, which is a group of volunteer fishermen. This is for the information. Now for information analysis, that how the information will be analyzed, we have an information fusion center. We have an information fusion center which will have the National Command, Control, Communication and Intelligence Unit, National Command, Control, Communication Intelligence, which is also called as N3CI, and we have Information Management and Analysis Center, where we analyze the information. Then how and who will react? So we have Indian Coast Guard, which is responsible for the territory between 12 nautical miles till 200 nautical miles. We have the Indian Coast Guard. These Indian Coast Guards, they will be in a direct communication with the Marine Police Force, that is responsible till 12 nautical miles. This will be for one state. Similarly, there will be a Marine Police Force for another state. Similarly, for another coastal state. Similarly, for another coastal state. So if we see, we are making a model which is looking like a hub and spoke of a wheel, and that is called as a hub and spoke model. Spoke model. This can also be concluded with a way forward paragraph that in addition to this, we need international cooperation, because maritime security is not only a challenge for one country, it is a challenge for the region. And we will include the ideas like Mahasagar, that is idea for having the security in the maritime region. We can also include the ideas that we can include the international organization like Indian Ocean Regional or Rim Organization, IORA. We can also include the implementation of the principles of UNCLOS for the maritime security. We have had a lot of content to write in this answer. It's just that you have to structure it properly, right? This was the 215 mark questions. Now 10 markers. You have to be very specific in 10 marker. It was a 10 marker question. Even if it is to answer in 250 words, then also you have limited space. Reduce your time, because even if you write the best answer, then also you will be getting marks out of 10 only. Okay. Now Government of India recently stated that LWE will be eliminated by 2026. Yes, the Government of India. What do you understand by LWE? So the question is not this. Understand, this is a statement. The question is, what do you understand by LWE? LWE is left wing extremism or Maoism, or it is called as Naxalism. I gave you exactly the definition, that it is a far left radical thought that wants to create a classless society using violence. They have asked the definition, and there is no better introduction than the definition of what they have asked. How the people are affected by it? Now people are affected by it because of having violence, because of increasing urban Naxalism, because of having development of underdevelopment, because of rise of organized crime. See, whenever there is an internal security question, organized crime will be a challenge. Okay, there is a problem because they are having difficulty in inclusion in mainstream. Very simple example of it is that the Naxal leaders, they don't let people to vote in the democratic elections, and this had been a success for us in the recent year, that the General Secretary of CPI Maoist, Basawa Raju, were also eliminated this year, and the government has clearly mentioned that by 31st of March 2026 they will eliminate Naxalism, right? And there is another discussion beginning with respect to the Naxalism itself, is about the Salvajudum. For the candidates who are appearing next year, Salvajudum will be very, very important. Okay, in the classes we have already discussed about the salvajudam, so that won't be a problem for us. And now they are asking the measures taken by the government. A direct question. Remember, we have discussed national policy and action plan, which will have, it was introduced in 2015, which will have a security front, which will have a development front. In the security front and development front, we have security front, we have modernization of police forces, we have security related expenditure provisions, we have a special infrastructure scheme, we have assistance to central agencies in left wing extremism area management scheme, we have the Samadhan doctrine. This is what we are doing on the security front. We have Indian Reserve battalions. As the problem is majorly for security front, that is why we are elaborating more on the security front. When it comes to the development front, we have integrated action plan, we have the civic action plan, we have a special central assistance, we have media plan scheme. So it is also a direct question. Okay, way forward, the best conclusion will be, because of all these initiatives, the Ministry of Home Affairs goal of eliminating Naxalism by 31st March 2026 will soon be a reality. Or we can also conclude that because of this hard work, now Naxalism is only limited to 38 states and it is limited to 38 districts, which is limited to 9 states. So this will be a question to the answer of left wing extremism. Now terrorism, it was totally a expected question because of the unfortunate attack in the Pahalgam this year. So the terrorism is a global scourge, no doubt about it. It is the worst problem that the humanity can ever face. Now the question is how it has been manifested in India. The question is with respect to the Pahalgam attack, and then we will trace back to Pahalgam attack of 2025, then we'll go back to the Pulwama attack of 2019, we'll go back to the Uri attack of 2016, we'll go back to the Pathankot attack, we'll go back to the unfortunate 26/11 attack, we'll go back to the 1993 bombings, we'll go back to the Parliament attack. So India has unfortunately faced many terrorist attacks which were not only limited to some regions, that had been spread in many regions. So how it has manifested? This is the direct attack. It has manifested with having linkage between terrorism and organized crime. The example of it is narco terrorism. Then now we are having the problem of narco terrorism. It is also manifesting in the form of that with the terrorism we are having increasing money laundering because of the need for terror financing. So it is manifested itself in many forms. What are the countermeasures adopted by the state? The state has first in the BNS 113, section 113, they have defined terrorism. The way forward is the new security doctrine that our Prime Minister have recently unveiled after the Operation Sindoor. So new secretary doctrine where you will be represent the Operation Sindoor. Now, because we are a student of civil service examination, we will write the technical names for it. That new security doctrine, it is focusing upon three things. There will be a decisive retaliation that we did in the form of surgical strikes, that we are doing in the form of the exercises of hot pursuit. We have the retaliation to terrorism where we say we have zero tolerance against nuclear blackmail. We have zero tolerance against nuclear blackmail, and we have identified terror supporter as terrorists. So these are the initiative that we are taking. Plus, we are also having taken the initiative where we have amended UAPA and NIA Act in 2019. So for a 10-mark question, this much content will be sufficient for the candidates. So internal security questions were doable. You could have scored good marks in it, and this is something that is specifically given in the syllabus. It is not, I do not consider that this is what we have done in the class, this is what we should have been doing in the classes, because it is in the syllabus. So from internal security, whatever is in the syllabus, UPSC has only asked it on that lines. Okay, so I wish you all the best and prepare well for your optionals, because the exam is round the corner, and the candidates who are appearing for the next year, I wish you all the best and hope to see you after the mains examination for the next year's discussion, where you will be very happy to check that whatever you wrote is in the same lines that the answer was expected. Thank you very much.